All right, welcome back. So, in the last experience, we were focused on mindset, right? And also, hopefully, what I was covering in that session challenged you, maybe got you a little bit anxious, which is okay. Gosh, I need to work on myself here, right? That's a good thing. That's a good thing. I hope it got your wheels turning. I hope it got your energy peaked a little bit. And like I said, I put 5 books in the experience. So if you have not uh, taken the taken the opportunity to hop in the discussion board in the last experience to share which book you chose to start reading, um, I'd like to ask you to pause this right now, hop back over to that experience, enter that in the discussion board so that I can see that and hold you accountable. Okay? So if that's the case, push pause, go add that in. So right now, I'd like to do a high level overview of the system that we use very successfully for 28 years now to work with business owners to build an amazing business. So if you're not familiar with Action Coach is 28 years in the making now. So it's not a fly-by-night organization. It's been around. Um, Business coaching as a term was coined by Brad Sugars, who's the founder of Action Coach. So when he started Action Coach, the only thing that the business world really was familiar with was business consulting. So Brad saw some issues with what was happening in the consulting field, created this system that we're using still to this day very successfully, and called it business coaching because, a consultant does bring outside perspective in. That's true. But a consultant is hired to come in, do some work in a business, usually in a specific area of the business. And then when he or she is done with that, they check out. And then the business owner may or may not really have a great roadmap on how to continue moving that forward. In a large corporation where you've got organizational structure and different business units operating with leadership and upper management, middle management, lower management, all of this structure there, having a consultant come in and tweak a system or a process that's already existing, that works pretty well. But you know what? In small businesses, unless we've done a pretty awesome job of education and had a mentor along the way already, we probably don't have systems yet in our businesses, right? So that's one of the primary things that I work with clients on is implementing systems in their business. However, I worked with 2 different consultants in my business up in the mountains, and both of them came. I worked with them. We did great work together. They left, and both times everything defaulted right back to where it was before they had come to do the work. And that was really frustrating. I invested $125,000 in those 2 different consultants over several years' time working with them. I was happy to make the investment. The investment was not an issue, but I didn't get the results that I had invested in. And I didn't exactly know what I was looking for either. I was just I knew there was a gap in education, but I didn't know exactly where to look to find it. And I tried these 2 different consultants. They came in, did some work and left, and it just didn't work. So long story short, I got burned out and sold the business. And here I am several years later, okay? I continued to have my wheels turning. There are a few business owners out there, not many, but there are a few that really figure this stuff out and have an amazing business. And I'm kind of smart. Why haven't I been able to figure it out, or even find the right resource to close that gap? And that continued, even after selling that business, that continued my desire to figure out what is the answer for this. Where do you find the education? I was willing to take the time, make the financial investment, do what I needed to do, but I just wasn't able to find the resource. So once I moved to Winston-Salem, I found Action Coach business coaching here. So the firm here in Winston-Salem where I work is right now it's about 10 and a half years old. You know, we've been around for over 10 years now. I've been with the firm for about 4 years at this point. And I tell you, when I first became aware of it, I was highly skeptical because what I had experienced with those two consultants didn't work very well. So I did my due diligence, and I took 2 months, actually. It was a while. I took 2 months to talk to coaches, talk to past coaches, talk to clients, talk to past clients of Action Coach. And what I found is I could not shoot a hole in it. This is the system. This is the organization. This is the community and environment that I was looking for, and I simply didn't find it when I had my business. So I say all that so that you understand this is world-class education and coaching. And I am honored to have a career moving forward with this organization. And the education I want to share with you is directly from this organization. You know, a lot of it's going to be in my perspective, but all that education is per the system that's been tested and measured for 28 years. This is kind of interesting. So we are now in 84 countries worldwide. So we've got pretty significant global footprint now. Every week, an Action Coach business coach is coaching 14,000 businesses worldwide every week. That's pretty significant, right? So anyway, that's a little bit about Action Coach. You know, consulting is an outside perspective, but coaching brings education, outside perspective, and accountability to the mix. And really, you can get education and outside perspective elsewhere. Really, the magic to what we do is in the accountability, to be quite frank and transparent. Holding a business owner, his or her focus and attention tight and true to the path that's going to get that business to where it needs to go in a shorter amount of time, that is the magic sauce, and we're really good at it. So that's just a little bit more about Action Coach. And so I want to share the system. Actually, I'm going to switch cameras here. Let me see if I can hop over to my desk camera. Yeah, there we go. So we've got a system that's called the 6 Steps, and I'm going to hop through this and try to make pretty short work of it, okay? So we'll be digging into each of these areas a lot more in depth as the experiences move on and progress. So we've got 6 steps system. And the first step, actually, I want to back up a half second. So what are we trying to accomplish? Remember that? Our definition of a successful business is a commercial, profitable enterprise that works without you. Yay. This is what we're after in business, okay? And this is the result that we accomplish as we're working through the 6-step system here, okay? So the 6-step system starts with mastery. And mastery is where we dig into 4 areas. First of all, destination mastery. Destination mastery is vision, mission, and culture. This is where we think about where we're going, how we're going to get there, and what are the rules along the way for us, the team, and for our customers as well. Okay, vision, mission, and culture. We work on time mastery. I tell you, there is nothing more important than time mastery to leverage forward an incredible amount of success in a short amount of time. Okay. So we've got a lot of different ways to work on that with our clients that we're working on. We're going to do some good education on that here. There's also finance mastery. We've got to understand our numbers, and we've got to understand how to use those to our benefit moving forward. Okay. And lastly is delivery mastery. Delivery mastery is looking at how we deliver our product or service. It is more important that we deliver our product or service consistently than it does to deliver it at a high quality. Of course, quality is important, but consistency is more important. Okay, and we'll dig into that more. Step 2 is what we call niche. This is where marketing and sales happens. Okay, this is where we're focused on that area. What we do here is we think about who is our ideal target market. Who is our perfect, most ideal A+ customer in the marketplace? So we've got to do our due diligence and start by defining our target market. How can we speak so that we resonate in our marketing to that target market? And that's where a USP comes into play. USP is a marketing term. It stands for unique selling proposition. So this is what makes us unique to our marketplace, okay? Third, we're thinking about how can we leverage a guarantee into our marketing that will resonate with that target market as well. And fourth, the 5 ways. The 5 ways is how we strategize profit in the business. And this is something that will get you really excited, because this is one of the things that is most unique about our approach at Action Coach to get businesses into a massive increase in profit over a short amount of time. Okay, so we'll talk about that. What's the goal? What's the goal in this step? The goal is to never compete on price again. And when we do these things properly, then we absolutely are not competing on price. And that's a beautiful thing. The third step is called leverage. And in this step, we're looking at 4 areas that we can leverage massive change and forward progress in our business. And those areas are, and there's only 4 areas. These are the 4 areas in your business that you can create leverage in systems. So one is systems and technology. There's a lot of leverage that can happen here. People and education. There's a lot of leverage that can happen here in a business. Testing and measuring. This is where we're going to start. With every business that I work with, this is where we start, because you cannot effectively manage what hasn't been measured. And I'll say that again. You cannot effectively manage what has not been measured. So we've got to start, of course, by measuring. This means putting some systems in place so that we can consistently measure what's happening in the business. And then think about how we can manage things differently for better results, right? And fourthly, let's see, what am I missing here? Delivery and distribution. there's a lot of ways in the manner we provide our product and service to the marketplace that we can increase efficiency in the business, and that is a leveraged effort over time. Once leverage and systems are in place in the organization, then the next focus is on team. And it's not to say that we don't have team in any of these other steps of the process. But what it does mean is this is where we really start building out our organizational structure as a business, okay? So, organizational structure is something that we really work hard on here to define. This is where we're thinking about and creating positional contracts for everyone's role in the business. This is where we're going to define and build accountability for KPIs in the business. If you're not familiar with that term, KPIs stands for key performance indicators, or at Action Coach, we like to call it key profit indicators. Okay. This is the way that we measure performance in both job performance and attitude. And we can talk about that when we get there to that point in the education. But you can measure attitude and you can measure performance, and it's all about KPIs. This is another example of testing and measuring, right? And this is also where we're going to be thinking about installing a general manager or an operations manager to run the business for us. Okay? Step 5 is where we're thinking about synergy. Now that we've got a business that is running like a well-oiled machine, then it's about how do we grow it, okay? So there's a lot of different things we can consider here. How can we replicate what we're doing? How can we duplicate it? Let's see. How can we just further scale in our same footprint, so to speak? Maybe you're thinking about a franchise model at some point. There's a lot of different directions you can go here to continue to grow that business. And the 6th step is freedom. And this is where we're thinking about, investments. What do we do with the cash flow that's coming from this business? We've built a business that runs like a well-oiled machine. We've grown it. However, we've decided to do that. What do we do with that cash flow? So there's a lot of places in the world to invest. 3 primary places to invest out there: stock market, real estate, and businesses. Once you know how to do this really well, you've done it in one business, there's no reason why you can't do this in other businesses, right? So you could use this cash flow and purchase a business that needs a lot of help, needs some work, and purchase it for a great price because it needs work, right? Fix it and flip it. And I tell you, you can make a whole lot of return on your investment when you know what you're doing in business by buying broken businesses, fixing them, and selling them again, increasing the equity, what that business is worth, and selling it. Okay? And we'll talk more about that. This is also where we're thinking about building a legacy. Whether that's in our family or in the community. But up here, we're starting to get to really the entrepreneur identity. We're past just being a business owner at this point. We're starting to really think on a different playing field, a different level on what is possible with our cash flow. And we can do some amazing things when we get to that point, okay? So coming back to our definition here that we're after, a commercial profitable enterprise that works without you. In mastery, what we're working to do here is to create a commercial enterprise. In niche, this is where we make that commercial enterprise profitable. and leverage when we put systems into place. Now our business works because we've got systems in place. This is where we've got that GM or operations manager operating the business for us so that our business works without us. A commercial, profitable enterprise that works without you. That's what we're after. That's the Action Coach system. And you might ask, actually, I've had a few people ask this recently again. How long does it take to work through that system in my business? Is this a 6-month project? Is it a 12-month project? How long? How long do I work on the 6 steps in my business? And the answer to that is as long as you want to keep growing the business. So we've got some clients that work with us for a year or 2 and then go on their way. We've got some clients that have been with us for 9 and 10 years. And why in the world would somebody invest in coaching for 9 or 10 years? Because it works and it keeps working. So those businesses that have been around with us for a long time like that, what do you think's happening in their business? Once you've worked through those steps, particularly steps 1 through 4, creating a well-oiled machine of a business, how much different is your business from where you started to that point? It is a different animal altogether, in a very positive way, of course. And when you choose to take it to the next level and replicate or duplicate or scale it further or franchise it, now basically what we're doing is we've got a whole new set of inputs. And we need to start thinking differently about mastery and niche and leverage and team, because we are building a new organization at that new size with that new goal, that new vision. And that's pretty exciting to do, right? So the answer is as long as you want to keep growing, that's how long that you would work in this, work in the 6 steps in your business, right? So, again, that's a high-level overview. It didn't take you 3 months to get to where you are now with your results in your business, right? And it doesn't take 3 months to accomplish this. But what we can accomplish in a couple of months' time is to work on your mindset and completely change the direction the business is going. We can't get the business into a completely different result in 2 or 3 months. But in 2 or 3 months' time, what our goal is in the early part of our coaching programs, there's a lot of several different programs we offer, but our goal is to completely change the direction you're headed in a short amount of time. And then once we're headed in the right direction, then there's just no stopping us. Then it's just a matter of continuing to work in that direction. What's the next task at hand? What's the next thing I need to work on in the 6 steps? What are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? Is the team something I need to focus on first, or is marketing something I need to work on first? And there's also, it also depends on what's your business model, where are you at in the life cycle of your business. All those inputs, we look at that per the 6 steps system that we use and figure out how can we use this system and adapt it to where you are at to get you to point B as smoothly and quickly as possible. There is not a shortcut to doing the work. There is not a shortcut to doing what's required in your business, but there is a shortcut on how long it takes to accomplish those things from a trial and error standpoint. And that's why the coaching relationship, this mentor relationship is so key. And it's why people stick with us for years, is because once you get into this environment and really start making significant progress in your business, man, that feels good to have the environment that's really helping you succeed, right? The environment, the mentorship, the coaching relationship is the shortcut to your trial and error in your business, in growing it, growing your impact, growing your profitability, and everything that comes with it. So we'll leave that there right now, and I'm not exactly sure which couple of questions I'm going to put into the discussion board on this experience, but I'll put a couple in there, and I expect you to answer those and join in the discussion. And I'll see you in the next experience.